Hi, I'm David Kelley. I'm president and CEO of Chakana Copper. Chakana is pursuing an advanced discovery of copper, gold, silver mineralization in Peru in our Soledad project. The project is exceptional in the aspect of its grade. We have a small initial resource that's at about 1.8% copper equivalent. It has very high precious metals going with the copper. But the big upside story here is the footprint of the system is enormous. We attracted Goldfields back in 2019 as a strategic investor. They've invested $12 million since the start, and they're only there because they see the enormous upside potential of this large mineral system. And we're about to embark on a new drill campaign on the south side. We just received a permit after working on that for over 2.5 years, and we're very excited about the quality of the targets. Are some of the best we've ever defined on the project, and that will be part of our next initial drill campaign on the south side.
Well, that's the new news, David. The final approval to drill Mega Gold and La Joya and other targets finally through. What a painful period of time that has been. So what's made the difference? Was it just that's how long things take, or is it the kind of new attitude by the Peruvian government?
Well, it's a little of both, really. I mean, that's always been my gripe about Peru is it's a very bureaucratic process. They have a really good mining law, excellent environmental law that regulates mining, but the process that you go through to advance project is very cumbersome. But the new administration is making a big difference. They're very pro mining. They see a lot of foreign investment sitting on the sidelines. A lot of people backed off of Peru, but that money's coming back into Peru. There's a number of projects that have gotten funding recently, a number of permit approvals that have happened. So I think things are headed in the right direction.
Right, but that wait has done a lot of damage. It's done a lot of damage at a really quite difficult time in the market for most equities, especially mining, and especially mining in South America. You know, if I look at your company now compared to where it was 2.5 years ago, it's much smaller. Not many people looking in, and quite frankly, you know, I'm surprised Goldfields are still here. I mean, what do they see in this?
Well, you're right. I mean, it's been very frustrating to see what's happening. These delays have impacts. You know, people don't like to invest money and know that they have to wait, you know, a year or 2 or 3 for a permit to happen. But, you know, Goldfields is the 7th largest gold producer in the world. They certainly understand the industry. And they're there for a reason. You know, they wouldn't have just come in and thrown money at something that they didn't think could be tier 1 for them. And that's what they're looking for. So it really comes back to geology. We you know, did the initial exploration. We defined this huge gold anomaly on the south side of the project back in 2019. And when they saw that, their first question is, what is that? You know, and we said, we don't know what it is yet. It's one of the biggest gold anomalies I've ever seen in my career, and I've seen lots of them. And so we started doing the work. You know, we did the mapping, we did geophysics, we did more geophysics, and this thing keeps holding up as one of the central heat engine sources to these tourmaline breccia pipes. We always knew that the tourmaline breccia pipes were related to an intrusion at depth. There was always speculation that it's a mineralized porphyry, but it was a question of where is it and how deep is it? Well, by moving down to, so we're sitting in a valley like this, and this target sits down in the middle, right on the edge of the valley on the south side. And that valley is defined by a major structure. We know that now. And so Goldfields is there because they see the potential for this next round of drilling to test this large bulk tonnage type of target. Sure, we have the high-grade breccia pipes. We have lots more of those to drill. Those are going to be a fabulous resource to advance as a project on its own. But we also have the footprint and the scalability for this project to take off and go tier 1 with this target, not just the mega gold target, but also the high sulfidation target that we have that sits and is related to this intrusive environment. So we have 3 different target types to test in this next round: the porphyry, the high sulfidation system, and more of these high-grade breccia pipes.
Right, but like I said, the market and the timing the time it has taken for this permit to come through has destroyed a lot of value for your shareholders, for the company as a whole. You're going to need to be super careful, super efficient with the drill program, with the drill modeling, and and also prioritizing. Right, so you talk about three different types of targets out there, but it's a large land package, and from here to tier one is a long road. People like Goldfields are going to have a view about how you should do that. That's fine. They've got a big balance sheet. But for you guys, you're going to need to raise some capital. You're going to need to be clear about what you get after first. It's going to be the best stuff first and then work your way down that priority list. So tell me about those conversations. Is Goldfields involved? What are the board thinking? How do you raise the money and how do you spend it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Goldfields is very involved. In fact, I just got off a call with them. We just finished off the final targeting for the mega gold target area. And I again, we're all excited about these targets. They fit together so well. Geophysics, alteration, geology, geochemistry, it all just comes together very nicely. So that's obviously a huge priority for them. It's a priority for us too. We also have the high-grade breccia. I had a comment the other day that, you're chasing porphyry now. Well, what about the breccia? Well, we haven't forgot about the breccia. They're there. We're still going to continue to drill them. In addition, we have historical drilling on this high sulfidation zone that hit very high grade. So we would be remiss to our shareholders to not target those. So the 4,000 meter drill plan that we have dominantly directed towards the mega gold target because it's such a large target area, right? We really want to understand what's happening within that target area. We have the Estremadura breccia pipe, one of the biggest breccia footprints we've seen in the geophysics to date, plus 1 gram gold at surface, copper oxides. We know it's mineralized. It's going to add to the breccia resource advancement with time as it gets drilled. And then we have this high sulfidation zone that's been drilled in the past that with very, very shallow holes. So all three of those are part of this 4,000 meter drill plan.
Okay. So 4,000 meters, it's a good start. I mean, obviously, if this thing keeps giving up, certainly, copper equivalents of 1.8%, happy days. But let me come back to this, the importance of actually signaling to the market and taking sort of baby steps. Otherwise, the money that you raise is going to be super expensive right now. So is that 4,000 meters in one go? Is that you're going to split that up depending on how much money you raise? How do you plan that?
Yeah, I think we would plan, to fully utilize the 4,000 meters. I mean, even 5,000 meters would be nice to have, right? And that's what Goldfields was commenting on. Based on the quality of the targets we've developed, their view is more drilling would be even better. So obviously, the amount of money that we have to deploy for the drill program will dictate how much we could drill. The financing, there's a number of different options. Doug Silver, our chairman, and I are working with a number of different groups. We have advanced conversations going on. You don't have to do a dilutive equity financing to raise money for a project like this. We have a number of different options. Goldfields has always been there every time we've asked them to support a financing. And there's different ways we can utilize capital from Goldfields. The royalty companies are interested. Again, now that we have the permit, the phone started ringing when we got the permit, Matt. That's basically what happened. People had been waiting. They love the targets, but the question was always, when are you going to be able to drill this? Is it going to be a few months or is it going to be another year? We have it in hand now. We can break ground tomorrow. And so there's lots of interest. We will solve this financing to the best end result to our shareholders, and then we'll be off to drilling some of the most exciting targets I've ever seen in my career.
Well, that's interesting to me because look, Goldfields are sitting at just under 18% ownership of the company, so they're in it big. I mean, obviously they've been diluting down, which is to some degree, which has made things easier for you in terms of liquidity. But they're still interested in staying in, is what I'm hearing from you. But giving away some of the future upside of the company is perhaps, I guess, the pain you'll have to bear, given what the market's done, to companies like yours, like I say, across the board. royalty companies, streaming companies, alternative financing companies, they're kind of tricky to deal with. So I appreciate you're going to be quite cautious about the sorts of deals that you do. Non-dilutive is one component, but giving away all of the upside in the future is another. So getting that balance right is really, really important. What are the kind of types of conversations that you think you may be able to engage in, just to be able to kind of understand the optionality available to you, so you don't kind of dilute the company?
Yeah, and I guess, the one thing that's important to remind your viewers is that the Chakana board is exceptionally strong. I mean, if it was just me, Dave Kelley, the geologist, responsible for all this, yeah, there would be reason for concern. But Doug Silver, is our chairman. Doug was just inducted into the Canadian Mining Hall of Fame. He's a U.S. citizen. He was previously inducted into the U.S. Mining Hall of Fame. There's only 3 people ever that's been inducted into both national Hall of Fames like that. And Doug's done over 300 deals. He ran Orion Mining Investment Fund to be the biggest fund in the world at the time when he left. So he has tremendous capabilities in the financial markets. John Black is the CEO of Regulus and Aldebaran. So we have some serious experience and regimen on our board, and I rely on them tremendously. And so we're going to solve this. There's royalty, streaming, part equity, joint ventures. There's some very attractive joint venture type of deals that still preserve a lot of upside for companies, and we haven't gone there yet because, again, we prefer the model where the shareholders own the company. But if you've got a tier 1 discovery that's emerging, and we fully believe that this can be a tier 1 discovery, then having a big chunk of that is an attractive option too. So we'll solve this problem. We'll be drilling soon, and I can't wait to get back on the show with you and tell you what some of the drilling's like.
Well, yeah, and I'd be keen to definitely have that conversation. But I think we've kind of referenced the fact that Peru seems to be opening up and making itself a bit more attractive to foreign direct investment. Good. We'll park that up for now. The other kind of variable which we look to is obviously copper price is pretty strong. It's about 375 at the moment. I can't believe it's more. But there we go. But it's not being reflected in equity prices. People aren't sort of, they aren't out there backing the theory, backing the kind of, whether it be copper price driven by EV thematic, or copper price driven by infrastructure development, copper price driven by the fact that there's not a lot of new production coming online for copper. I mean, what's your kind of reading of the market, and do you have hope for the future?
Well, I certainly do. I mean, the one thing you can say about a time like this is there's a lot of money parked on the side, right? People have pulled their money out of the market. It's sitting there. They're ready to reinvest, but they're waiting, right? They're waiting for the right time. There's a lot of fear still in a global recession, and what's going to happen there. But there's a lot of money out there. The markets will change. They always do. That's the one thing we know for sure, is that the markets are cyclical. I'm kind of perplexed that copper is not higher than it is right now. But all I can say is every month that goes by and copper's still sitting at 375 is putting greater demand for copper in the future. And investment in exploration is absolutely essential to solving the copper supply decades from now. And we're sitting on an emerging discovery that's going to get bigger. So I'm patient. You can just look at me and know that I've been in this, been doing this a long time. And it's going to turn. It's going to turn, and we're going to see it. And those people that are coming in and buying the stock at 5 and 6 cents right now, Canadian, are going to benefit from that, because already the 7 million tons of high grade that we've already defined, and that's just an initial inferred resource, Matt. One of the dangers of putting out an early resource on a project is people go, oh yeah, it's too small. We need something bigger. Well, this is going to get a lot bigger, right? The breccia pipes are open at depth. We have numerous additional outcropping breccias that we haven't drilled yet, and we're not abandoning that strategy. We're adding to that strategy. The porphyry target that we have is exceptional. It's one of the best I've ever seen in my career. I would be remiss to not drill that. I mean, I just got off the phone with Goldfields, and they said that has to be drilled, right? There's no way you could walk away from something like that. So we're in what we say a target-rich environment, to use some buzzwords there, but it's going to bear fruit. I know it is. The resource will get bigger on the high-grade breccia part of the story. And then we've got this enormous upside. So I think the downside to investing in Chakana right now is very minimal, and I think the upside is huge.